Welcome. My name is Carl Johann Schroeder, and this is my meetup called Inner Selves for Outer Mastery. I've been doing this every Sunday since 2020, and a couple of years before that, I was doing it once a month. This is where I share my growth. This is what my spirit guides, my soul team are giving me to work on, and sharing is a beautiful way of honing, focusing your skills, and sharing it with like-minded people. We'll get into that, actually. Sharing is the ultimate goal of growth, to be able to know that you are a complete, whole, healthy universe in yourself, and you get to meet others like you. So today's topic, every week I get a different topic, and today's topic is Superhero Sunday. We're going to talk about superhero concepts. I love the idea of superheroes, but the thing is that our culture is so full of misconceptions about what is true heroism, what would really make a superhero. And so we're going to talk about some of these tropes, these conventions, these stereotypes that get us off the path of true power. We're going to talk about true versus fake power, how to join the real superheroes for love. Because everybody has an inner superhero. And to learn what makes a real superhero means you're going to be able to tap into your true inner strength, your power, your higher self, your soul, just different conceptions for it. Your inner being, your part of the universe, whatever we want to call it. Basically, you are the universe in the form of you. The universe is always sending you guidance and help and resources to be more of who you really are. And the challenge in the world today is that a lot of people don't even know who they are. They just know that they're having reactions against things that aren't good for them. So a lot of people are reacting against each other and fighting for control. And so we see a world with a few people who are willing to be completely without any principles, without any conscience, just lie, steal, whatever it takes, hurt people, whatever it takes to pretend that they're in charge, that they have all the power. And then a lot of people who are willing to let those people impact them, run their lives, mess up their lives. And so they're the victims. And then there's a few people who are kind of getting on top of things and realizing, like, wait a minute, all of this is some kind of illusion, some kind of really bad game. I don't like this. I can get out of this. Let's find the real universe. There is a real universe that completely supports and loves you. And everyone has a form of themselves that belongs and comes from that real universe. So this is the source of the idea that everyone is deep down good inside. Yes, everyone has a deeper, higher self, an inner true being who is amazing, wonderful. The thing is, we have free will. Free will is extremely important. There's been debates about free will, how much free will do you have, etc., for centuries, for millennia, forever. The main point of free will is that you need to have choices so that you can discover what it means to love, how good it feels to love, that you want to love. Deliberately, intentionally, you want to help people. Love is basically helping people and not hurting them. Hurting them is the direction of negativity and so-called evil. Evil is kind of a loaded word, but basically implies somebody who's intentionally hurting people. And there are a lot of people who are intentionally hurting people. However, they're still not evil. What's happening is people have belief systems, they're lost deep in belief systems that make them think they need to do things to hurt people just to survive, just to be safe, just to get some resources to stay alive. And you see these these billionaires, these oligarchs, these dictators, these tyrants, these narcissists, they have plenty of resources. They, billions of dollars. How many billions do you need? You people who have so much and they're just so insecure, and they keep going on that path of hurting other people to get more for themselves. It still doesn't mean that they're evil. It means that they're very confused. It means that they're very misguided by false negative beliefs. Belief systems. I've been talking a lot about belief systems, and I've been saying how it's important to realize, excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat here. Ribbit. Okay. Belief systems. Believe it. People don't believe that their belief systems are really what's behind reality. So what's happening is the source, the true reality that your superhero, your inner superhero comes from, the true reality is a paradise. Everyone has this amazing, wonderful paradise, and that's what you tap into in your greatest moments of life. When you feel inspired, when you feel hopeful, when you feel excited for this is who I am and this is what I can do, this is my passion, this could all work out, this is amazing. You're tapping into your paradise. And paradise is always there. Paradise is always available. Because time is in a kind of story we tell ourselves. There isn't actually any time in the sense of things coming into and out of existence. Things always exist. In time, in the chronology of our lives, what we're experiencing is choices that bring us more or less into contact, into experience with the paradise that's already there. So more paradise is love, happiness, joy, excitement, passion, purpose, all that great stuff. Less of your inner paradise is moving in the direction of fear, of those negative false beliefs that will say things like, just work hard for a living and it'll pay off someday. Just do what we tell you. Just do this, do that. And people become compulsive for control, for hoarding, for trying to guarantee their survival, when in fact, the kind of unloving lifestyle they're practicing with their false negative beliefs is exactly what is threatening their survival. So survival can be a real trap. Survivalism, being lost in the survival tactics, that's not good. It's fine if survival just for a few seconds, say your friend is in the burning car and you turn into the Incredible Hulk and you rip off the door and you rescue them. Okay, that's amazing, and that really happens. People have superpowers, super strength come to them. Superpowers of intuition, of remote viewing, seeing, knowing the future. Amazing things can happen. It's just it brings up these spiritual tears in me that I often feel when I'm talking about something that's so beautiful and so true. It's amazing. Superpowers will come to you when you need them. The challenge is more, what do you do after that, cathartic, amazing superhero moment? Well, that's when people need to integrate more of the rest of their life. Realize, I just had a peak experience. Okay, you don't have to be a superhero and rescue and whatever, make the headlines, but just that feeling of a peak experience when you're really in the groove, when life is really beautiful and you just have this feeling of oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Maybe my life is going to be like this from now on. This will be wonderful. And then something changes and no, life isn't like that way from now on. But you got to realize that all of your peak moments, all of your best experiences, they are portals. They're not something that comes and goes and you lose it and you did something bad and all those false explanations. That's what false negative beliefs do. They give you false explanations that make you insecure and scared, so you compulsively do more of what the false belief system tell you. Positive beliefs will tell you the truth. Things like, look, your best moments, they're always there. That's a great energy. That's a pure, divine, eternal energy. What are the choices you can make to align with that, to work with that, to belong with that, to function from that place more often? That's what we're all doing. That's why we're here on the spiritual path. The folks who realize there is a way that things can work. The universe must be a good place. Look at all this, the beautiful, amazing life, the beautiful, amazing experiences I've had. How do I get on that track, on that path all the time? And yes, there are ways to do it. There are always answers. The solutions always exist. The universe is kind of like a big yes machine. Whatever you want to experience, it will say yes. If you choose to try something beautiful and amazing, it'll say, oh, yes, love to give this to you. If you say, I want to experience something horrible, like go to a horror movie or make my life into a horror movie, hanging out with some really bad people who are going to use me and manipulate me, the universe says, well, yes, you can experience that. But just remember, this isn't the real universe, okay? You don't have to stay with this, but the universe will always say yes. And this is a very, very important concept, because the fact that the universe will always say yes makes you a creator too. You don't have to feel like somebody else is running my life, somebody else created me, somebody else made all the rules, and then I have to just live it and put up with that and try to survive. That's the direction of survivalism. No, you are a consciousness who has your own copy of the entire universe. Every consciousness has its own thoughts, its own feelings, its own way of experiencing anything. So you can't get someone else to rescue you. You can't get someone else to do things for you. They can show you examples, they can guide you, they can encourage you, they can be your friend, but you have to find your unique way of doing everything, your unique way of solutions, your unique way of thinking and feeling and finding your path through every situation. So that, yes, there is a positive way through, a positive outcome from every situation, even the very hurtful, challenging ones that, like we're going through in the world today. I mean, the current Earth is on the brink of ecological collapse, and a ton of people are in denial of that because they're so scared, and they're just going to follow a leader, follow a dictator, follow somebody who says, no, don't worry, there's no threats, there's no natural threats. There's just bad people, and I'm not a bad person, but I'm going to tell you about all the bad people to make you really scared, so you're going to follow me and do everything I say. Meanwhile, the Earth is in a lot of trouble. And meanwhile, people are in a lot of trouble. Every single person, the world is a reflection of what's going on inside. We have things to learn from the reality that we're in. So if the Earth is in a really bad state of health, it means something inside of us is in a really bad state of health. If there are people who are in denial and following dictators because they're so scared and they just want somebody else to take care of them, then there's a part of us like that. And the thing is that it's very real, it's very poignant, it's genuine, it's authentic to want someone to take care of you. Just find the right someone, okay? And the right someone is the bigger you. Your higher self, your soul, your form of the universe. Remember, every one of us is the entire universe in the form of us, which means that we are backed up by the solutions, the wisdom, the love of the entire universe. You can ask for solutions and receive them. And you will always grow bigger. You will understand more of how you are that universe. You are a universe of you, your way of loving, your way of helping, your way of contributing to life. So the spiritual path is being on that path, that very hopeful, is aspiring path that doesn't make suddenly all the problems go away, but it gives you tools, it gives you ideas, it gives you inspiration, it gives you a direction to work in. So that's what life is really about. Life is not about a static position of like how many dollars I have in my bank accounts, therefore I'm okay, or how many friends I have, therefore I'm okay. Those would all be static positions, static things. Life is a direction. Life is a movement. Life is dynamic. Life is change. Don't let that change scare you. Change can be always for the better. It doesn't have to mean using time as a separator, thinking that I'm going to lose things, and that peak moment I had, now I'm not in that space anymore. I must have done something wrong, so I'll let a false negative belief tell me what a bad person I am and make me ashamed, so then I'm weak and powerless and I follow a dictator. That's the slippery slope to hell, quote unquote. Hell being a state of experience, a state of being. This is all states of being that are driven by our belief systems, and the happy states of being are tuning into the real paradise that's always there, the energy that's always there. And the unhappy times are tuning in, moving away from what's happy, from the paradise, and getting into more of a false created hell, It's just like darkness isn't a thing, right? There are no darkness particles. There's light. So darkness, people often use as a metaphor for negativity, for evil, for hurt, whatever, because of the metaphor of there is no darkness. There's only a lack of light. There's less light. Personally, I don't like to use the metaphor of darkness versus light, because there are plenty of things that are like beautiful in their darkness. Dark skin, the darkness of the night. The darkness is what can allow the contrast more of the light. The stars shine in the night. You can see the stars during the day. So yeah, we can just be aware there are a lot of metaphors in life, but what you're really getting to is the sense of negative versus positive. Negative is the direction of false beliefs that disempower you, that segregate you, that make you scared, that tell you you have to give away all your power and follow somebody else who says they're good for you, but they're actually bad for you. They're never going to take you in the right direction, even though they keep saying, oh, we're going in the right direction. We see somebody I don't want to get too political, but in the United States today, there's obviously somebody in charge who's making things worse, and yet keeps claiming it's going to get better. We're going to make America great again. It was already great. You're making it worse. This is characteristic of a false negative belief. It tells you this is the direction to go in when it's not. And the way you realize it's the false direction, it's not the right direction, you feel your feelings. Okay? So I'll wrap up my introduction here on the topic. There are two sides of you. The human side, who feels the feelings of what it's like to be in the reality experience. And then the other side of you is the spiritual side that can rise a little higher, that can get some perspective on your situation and the beliefs you must be in. And the spiritual side is the decider. The spiritual side needs to care about the human side, which is feeling. So the human side, when you're in your human position, your responsibility, your power is to feel and to report your feelings honestly to yourself and to any friends that you know are safe and trustworthy. But certainly don't go running out and telling your feelings and your vulnerabilities to people who you know aren't safe to be with. You be the one you're always safe with. You be your own best friend. So when you're human, feel those feelings. Think those thoughts. Be your human self. Don't react too much on it. Just create a safe space to then report to your next higher part of yourself, the spiritual part. So you feel your feelings enough with journaling, with art, meditation, talking with a trusted friend or therapist, whatever. You feel your feelings, your situation, and then you step back and you realize, oh, okay, this is serious. I need to focus on my human self. This is how we prioritize. This is how we get on track with our paradise, is that we let go of all the things that, there's so many distractions in the world and so many headlines trying to tell you like, oh, this person's going to come to get you. Oh, drop everything. You got to react to this, got to react to that. No, react and respond to your current situation. Be real, be authentic. And then you step back into the spiritual part of yourself and you look and you apply your best understandings of the best principles, the best ideals, your best ideas of how things could be okay. And that's when you do the reframing. People talk about like, I was really in a negative state, but then I kind of stepped back and I reframed things. Reframing simply means applying more positive beliefs. If beliefs are your worldview, your outlook, the way you think things will work, your assumptions, your expectations. Beliefs are just a word for the universe you have inside of yourself, your narrative of how you think the world works. So you reframe, you get more positive beliefs when you apply a more of a positive view on life. And the thing is, positive beliefs can be very theoretical at first. You've got to keep applying them. You've got to keep discovering how real they can be in your part of the universe, in your unique life. So that's why a lot of people, they dismiss, New Age, spirituality, whatever, the ascension, whatever. They dismiss all that because, oh, that's just fantasy. Sounds very nice, but that's ridiculous theory. If it's real, it's theory you can apply to your life and it will make a difference. There are fantasies, and we're going to talk about superhero fantasies like invulnerability. Okay, the invulnerability. You see all these superhero comic book characters. They got no depth of feeling. They're just sort of, two-dimensional characters. Like, basically they have anger and happiness. I'm happy with you. I'm angry at the supervillains, and nothing hurts me. I'm invulnerable. I'm just going to go in there with my superpowers and smash things up and get rid of the bad guys. All of that is fantasy. Doesn't work. What is real is what we're talking about with, like, you have a direction of paradise. You have a direction of your higher self, your true inner being, the divine being you are, with your way of loving, your way of contributing to every situation. And love, as I said, needs the free will so that you discover what works for you, and you can choose with full intentionality, with full consciousness, with full presence. I choose to do something good here, and starts with I choose to not do something hurtful. The value of negativity is simply to know what not to do. So we don't destroy negativity. You don't destroy all the supervillains, okay? But you deactivate them by creating a beautiful world in which you are choosing to do something loving. You know that you could hurt someone. You know that you could go in a negative direction. You see the direction to not go in, and you choose a positive direction. So that's my introduction to the topic. Going to have a lot of fun things to talk about here today. So let's do some sharing time for about 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to describe now the format that we use for the check-ins, for the sharings. I encourage you to pause the recording and do this for yourself, because it's going to help you to center, ground, and balance your energy in this challenging subject material. And then I'll be sharing some highlights from the conversation we had based on the check-ins. For sharing, I recommend 3 parts. 1, just say your name and where you're calling from. 2, say a little something about how you're doing. The full structure would be, how are you doing physically? There are 4 parts to the human being. Physically, in your body. Emotionally, how are your feelings? Mentally, what kind of thoughts you're having? And spiritually, what kind of values and inspirations you're running on. So physical, emotional feelings, mental thoughts, spiritual values. Say a little something about how you're doing. And the third part of the sharing, what do you think of this topic? What do you I'd love to hear, how do you relate to superhero legends and movies and mythologies? Do they excite you? What excites you about them? Do they annoy you? That's so unrealistic. Come on, people, let's get out of the fantasies and get real. I'd love to hear some feedback. Helps to guide the meeting.
I haven't seen Black Adam yet. I want to see, is that what it's called? I want to see that one. But, and I like Deadpool. That's where I'm at with superheroes now. I'm at Deadpool.
Yeah, he's pretty snarky. And something I like about Deadpool is that, like, he gets hurt. He has the invulnerability fantasy of, like, he bounces back from everything heals, but he does get hurt. Whereas a lot of superheroes, it's like, yeah, you can't do anything to me, So being vulnerable, being honest about where we get hurt is really important in life. Some of mine are like Spider-Man. I love the fact that he's just a kid. He's just so vulnerable and honest. I like, who's that guy who's a magician? Forgetting his name. But they show actual occult experiences of, like, being out of body, stuff like that. Doctor Strange, I'm thinking of. Another one I want to mention is Green Lantern. Anybody know Green Lantern? What's cool about him is he's just an ordinary guy who was inducted into this galactic group. Like, there's one from every species who gets trained in visualization with the help of a special green lantern and green ring, whatever. And basically their ability is to visualize and into manifestation whatever will help the situation. So if a bad guy's attacking, they visualize, I don't know, like a swimming pool to, like, separate them or whatever. Yeah. They'll just make things pop into existence. So it's like very creative kind of superhero battles. So I thought that was pretty cool. What are some superheroes you like?
I'm more geared towards the documentaries, the real life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it comes to mind, but does a cartoon count?
Sure. They're all cartoons, really.
Yeah, that's true. Growing up, there was a cartoon called Rupert. And then, off the top of my head, Power Rangers. So, just fighting for a good cause type
Mm-hmm.
thing. And with Rupert, it was more of the adventures. He would have, like, adventures, but he was this normal dude, normal kid.
Yeah.
Going on amazing adventures.
Hmm.
He is so cool.
Nice. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
By the way, when you said real life superheroes documentaries, well, you said documentaries, I thought of like the one that popped to mind. Maybe it's my ecological concerns, but I just thought of Rachel Carson right away. Popped in my head. So Rachel Carson, she pretty much started the ecology movement. We're talking in the 60s. She researched how DDT was killing birds by thinning their eggshells. She is the one who started the ecological movement by first banning DDT. I don't know if you've heard of DDT, but it was like a really serious poison that was going to kill, like, it was killing so many birds. It was destroying the environment. People realized that was really serious. She didn't live to see DDT banned, but she started that movement, and DDT was banned. And it started the whole movement of like, oh my God, there are chemicals that will kill us. We got to like ban them. And what I love about Rachel Carson is her reincarnation, Greta Thunberg. I'm really into reincarnation. I feel the soul behind it. It's so amazing. So Greta, just like right out of the starting gate, this young woman who's just like taking on the world, taking on the ecological crisis and telling the adults this is serious. This is what needs to be done. It's because she was Rachel Carson. It's an amazing soul. So yeah, for me, real life superheroes are the souls behind the reincarnating heroes. Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
The superheroes I like, I'm kind of an anti-superhero. I like Batman, but I also like Catwoman. So she was adversarial with Batman, but I find she had a bit of a superhero in her as it is, right?
Right, and well, I mean, it's empowering to women. There aren't that many women superheroes, so.
That's right. Yeah, I think if I recall, there's so many Batman series. I think I saw the one with Michelle Pfeiffer, and I really liked that one. She was the best Catwoman, I think, but.
Nice.
Yeah. Empowering of women. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Catwoman.
Yeah, and Wonder Woman was another one that deliberately designed. Was it in the late 60s, early 70s? They deliberately designed Wonder Woman to be different, to be a kind of feminine superhero. So she is from an Amazon tribe. So she's from a whole tribe of like superwomen, and her weapon isn't a usual weapon. It's that golden lasso that she can, pull bad guys aside and round them up and that sort of thing. She doesn't hurt people so much as that she separates them. It's like, some really powerful concepts there.
Well, I remember Barbarella. Was it Barbarella?
Okay.
Remember? Yeah, she's another one that was like a powerful woman.
Yeah.
Very old, though.
I want to hear what your superheroes are.
I feel like there are tons of, I don't even know if I would use the word superheroes, but I would just like in the world and in my life, like every day. I mean, not every day, but like just throughout my life. It could be a teacher from third grade. It could be, I do have one that watching reruns of The Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
What I liked about that was that he's so humble. He didn't want to be this, and he keeps trying to undo the power, that he has, and he gets hurt, and then he has to always leave town. That was the only reason I could latch onto that, because it had like a realisticness to it.
Right.
Superheroes, I don't think so. I relate to that. I'm more related to superpowers. So, superpowers of being invisible and go do whatever I want to do and come back. That I like it better. Time walking, being reality, shape shifting, things like that. Really I like it better. I mean, I can say I feel drawn to it. Witch's power, magic, where you can use the element and do something with it. That's where my soul relates more.
Right. Beautiful. Yeah. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I like the X-Men, is because a lot of them have command of the elements. You know, it's a sense of almost working with nature spirits. Shamanic powers, you know, Wiccan, all that stuff, indigenous cultures, like tuning into the wonderful stuff. And also, while you were talking, and I was remembering, for whatever reason, I remembered one of my sort of fictional still, but a more realistic superhero, Anne of Green Gables. Anybody know the story of Anne of Green Gables? It's like, so she's a little girl. She's an orphan girl, I think it was. But anyway, basically, she's one of these characters who transforms their community by just being so, you know, vulnerable, open-hearted, giving, loving. You know, people were like, you know, mean to her, and then they soften up. They start realizing, like, oh my God, this is the way we want to be. So Anne of Green Gables, it's set on Prince Edward Island, north of Maine into Canada. And so I made sort of a pilgrimage with a girlfriend back in my 20s who was also a big Anne of Green Gables fan. So we went to the house that Anne of Green Gables is supposed to be based on. I think it was the author's house. And it was so funny. There were all these Japanese tourists wearing orange wigs because she was redhead. It's like she's really big in Japan, and there are a lot of Japanese who make this pilgrimage all the way from Japan just to go see the Anne of Green Gables house and wear orange wigs, you know, and just like, it's so cute. There's something about the Japanese culture. Yeah, they're kind of fantasy oriented, but it's so sweet too, you know, the manga and all that stuff. So thank you, everyone. That was really fun sharing. Does anybody else want to jump in quick, say something about a favorite superhero?
I just want to say thank you for bringing that up about Anne of Green Gables. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I loved that when I was younger.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else? I just, you know, don't be shy if you have a superhero that interests you, or a childhood storybook character.
With Batman and Robin, in every episode, how they were always fighting some mad scientist, or like Captain Evil, and this, like, Captain Evil had this plan to destroy the world, and they were always like fighting the clock and all these adverse things just to stop the ultimate end of the universe. And the world that we're in right now, I just keep thinking how true that is, because you have these mad people who have like dungeons where they're torturing people, and they've got the bomb, and they're holding us all hostage with this terror that they could destroy the world. So I just sometimes I just have to laugh, because I'm like, this is just like Batman and Robin. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's straight out of cartoons. And it's straight out of like some of the, you know, the most literal, you know, mythologies and religious stories. I mean, it's just like, come on. And it's deliberate. I mean, there are people, one word for it is the accelerationists. There are people who want to accelerate the end of the world because they have these ideas and fantasies that will somehow bring Jesus back, or bring salvation, or bring something. So there are people who are actually pushing for destruction. And don't be scared. Don't be scared, because we're going to talk about how everybody is in their own universe. Everybody has their own copy of the universe. They're in their own energy. Your energy world, your energy is what's real. This shared reality of how we overlap, that's just instructional. That's just, you know, we learn from the kind of people we see. So yeah, learn from the fact that there are people out there who are just cartoonishly, ridiculously, insanely destructive. What do they hope to get from it? Well, they hope to be saved in some way because they're so disconnected from their power. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the descent into madness that happens and how to like pull ourselves out of that. So yes, the unlikely hero, the reluctant hero, That's what we all are. You have an inner superhero. You have your higher self, and it's time to bring him out, whether or not you were ready. You are ready. The world is ready for you. So we're ready for a better world.